Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to the Overwatch Tespa Collegiate Series, sponsored by Gunner's Steel Series and powered by Twitch. So we are now moving on to the Western region. We had two great matches coming out from the Southern region, but now we're on to the West, and our first match is going to be University of Utah facing off against University of Washington. But let's take a look at the standings right now. Definitely California well represented here in this bracket. We got Cal Poly Pomona, San Jose, Berkeley, Utah, Washington, UC Irvine, CSU Long Beach. 7 schools currently with a 3-0 record, and then Riverside, rounding it out with a 2-1 record.
Yo, where's my alma mater? Where's Fullerton? Why aren't you guys good at Overwatch? What? I left you and now you're bad at esports? That's what happens?
You need to go back. You need to finish out school.
Clearly,
you
that's
cursed
what needs
them.
to happen.
You cursed them.
But the West has definitely been one of the strongest in terms of esports campuses all throughout the history of competitive gaming. So I anticipate a lot of hot and heavy teams to come out of this this region in the Tespa Collegiate Series. But of course, tonight's first match is between Utah and Washington.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the Utah roster, it is represented by Sly, Culture, The Empire, Cyan, Flame Turtle, and Polish Babe, Chemical Engineering, Computer Science, Comp Sci, Mathematics, and Material Science.
Do you think that's pronounced Polish Babe? Like she's a babe who just really likes polishing things?
Polishing rocks, polishing her nails.
I feel like that. Okay, we're not going to go there. So going on to the other side with Washington, we have Wiz Diablo, Wonged, Fly Kobo, Shifu, Soulman, and iShiny. Computer Science, Electrical Engineering, Informatics, Computer Science, Cellular Biology, and Communications. iShiny actually played for their League of Legends team as well. So he's good across a variety of games.
Yeah, he also competed on their Heroes of the Storm team for Heroes of the Dorm. So yeah, that's going to be iShiny there. And UW with a pretty historied background in esports, so definitely looking to represent that campus there. And this is going to be another great match. It's two 3-0 teams fighting for pride instead of just making their berth into the regional playoffs. So there's going to be a lot of action here.
And I have to think that Washington is going to come out very, very strong because, like you said, they're a campus that prides themselves on their gamer and esports presence. They have one of the biggest gaming-focused clubs and esports communities in the entire North American region in terms of colleges, not just the West Coast itself. So I feel like they're a team that's going to be very hard to get through, especially if you're a team like Utah, who don't necessarily have that big of an esports name.
Yeah, but I mean, currently 3-0 right now in the Tespa Collegiate Series, so they are definitely pulling their weight here. But it's going to be very tough going, especially against a team like University of Washington. Like you said, on the West Coast, there are a lot of schools with a lot of esports backing, and with their Tespa chapters giving them the support that they need, we saw their Heroes of the Storm team on the side of University of Washington. I believe they had a top 8 or top 16 berth in Heroes of the Dorm 2 years in the running. And so, yeah, there's a lot of pride on the line, and then there's just a lot of school history that they have to live up to.
Yeah, when you come from these very storied esports campuses like Washington, UC Irvine, the school you went to, very storied in the esports world as well. University of British Columbia, they have very prominent esports teams. That kind of culture just breeds more and more talents because when you're surrounded by all your peers who are that strong at gaming or competition, anything for that matter, college is a time about growth and exploration. So when you're able to meet all these people, network, learn from all these peers that have maybe a few years on you, I think it's really cool to see these communities develop in these collegiate scenes. And I feel like that's the reason things like the Tespa Collegiate Series and all these other college esports programs out there are very, very important to making the entire gaming scene much bigger in the future.
Yeah, one of the great things, I've been able to talk to a lot of the collegiate players, they're choosing their school based upon their esports presence at this point. We've gotten to a point where a lot of students, they're seniors and they're trying to consider which schools they're going to apply to or accept their acceptance from, and they're like, oh yeah, I went to UCI because of they've got an esports arena and they've got a really great esports background. But yeah, here we are. It's going to be UW facing off against University of Utah. Here on Gibraltar, and yeah, MechCat over there. We got some great posters.
Where is this on the map? Is that in Winston's lab?
That is actually in the defense first spawn point inside the locker rooms.
Oh my gosh, I need to pay closer attention. That's why I'm not a Grandmaster level Overwatch player, and that's the only reason why.
That is the only reason why.
Nobody correct me.
Now, on the side of University of Utah, looks like they are running a pretty standard composition. Culture will be on that May, though. And May, when you're playing those choke points, it can be be very difficult to deal with.
Especially if Washington elects to throw out something like a Roadhog, because Mei is probably one of the best heroes to pull out against somebody like a Roadhog. So we haven't seen what Washington play quite just yet on today's stream at the very least. So see exactly what they elect to pull out. Fly Kobo doing a little bit of scouting early on. This is something very, very cool. For those of you who don't know this by now, and I'd be surprised if you didn't, you can actually see out from this side of the mirror, but when you're looking through from the other side, if you're Utah, you can't actually see Washington's team comp. So a little bit of an edge. They're just trying to scout them out. So looks like they are going to drop that Widowmaker. Want's going to actually be sitting on that Roadhog. So let's see how he deals with Culture's Mei.
Yeah, we do have that 3-2-1 composition coming out. 3 takes on the side of UW, and it's going to be Rain actually picking up that Genji. So the first Genji of the day. I'm excited for this. Now, we do have Utah immediately backing off to that server room as they were not able to get an initial pick there. So they've got to be careful. We haven't seen teams use the server room to the greatest of effect so far, but Rain is getting some great poke damage off right now. Washington do have control over the high ground, and they are not contesting that server room quite yet.
Yeah, look at Utah just completely pushed back into that far room, and Washington just getting free poke damage off from the top side of the bridge. It's like neither one of these teams really wants to play that heavy engage style, just looking for that far range damage poke with Rain. If he gets a decent number of headshots off, he's going to have that Dragon Blade pretty quickly. Oh god, it's a Mei.
He's already at 50%, and now it looks like Washington want to go ahead and engage. We do have the charge coming out. Sly is the one that's going to pick up the kill onto Fly Kobo. Wong has to be careful as he's getting swarmed on by the rest of Utah. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Utah now as they're trying to clean up the rest of the members of Washington. Here we go. Earthshatter comes in to try and secure the rest of those kills. Sly finds it onto Soulman, and now Utah establishing their defense here on Gibraltar.
A big stop coming out of Utah there, and we saw as a result of that, so many members of Utah now close or at their ultimate charges. Culture with that Blizzard is going to be able to shut down so many team fights that happen in this area, especially if the main point of engagement remains under this bridge. That Blizzard is going to trap everybody on behalf of Washington, and they're all going to go into hibernation.
All right, so now we do have the nano boost. Genji coming out with his Dragon Blade is immediately into the back line. Isn't quite able to pick up these kills, but there we go. One swipe, 2 kills coming out from Rain. That's a triple kill coming on over on the side of UW as now they are cleaning up the rest of University of Utah. Babe try to make his way out, but nope, will go down. That's a great team fight coming out from Washington.
I mean, you just give the Genji the nano boost, you send him to the back line, and that's exactly what happens. I first thought it was a little bit ballsy sending Rain in by himself at the very beginning with no sort of, secondary or primary engage, but it turns out if you just get on the support spaces, swing the sword once or twice, you do really, really well. And Rain finding another kill back onto Sion. That support going down time and time again. This guy's on fire.
Yeah, Rain already 50% close to his next Dragon Blade is going to force the Wraith form out of that Reaper. As he does back off, he has to be careful. Yeah, he doesn't want to get hooked in there, but the payload making good time right now. UW do have 3 minutes and 50 seconds to make it through this hangar portion of Gibraltar. They've got 3 ultimates to work with also.
Yeah, it looks like Culture actually electing to switch off of that Mei for that Roadhog. Instead, with Flame Turtle looking around from the outside, looking for a spot to drop in with this Death Blossom. He may look to pop it right here. There he goes. Lots of damage. Is anybody dropping thus far? No! It's Eyeshiny on the side of UW who picks up a few kills of his own. Now to 6v4. What's going to happen as a result? Flame Turtle getting slapped, but he still stays alive in the midst of all of it. Eyeshiny with a decent amount of charge, laying down damage on the backline. They're on to Polish Babe. Oh my gosh! Washington just storming through the members of Utah, and they're already at the second checkpoint. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. They have so much time to work with.
3 members with the really bad spawn there. That's going to allow Rain to actually pick up the kill on CN, and Wonk will clean up Flame Turtle there. The Lucio, not long for this world as Rain picks up a second for himself. So now this payload going to be pushed completely unabated for a good 20 seconds now.
They got to find some way to deal with Rain because he's just getting free poke off. When a Genji is this exposed, you want to go to something like a hit scan or somebody who can kind of snipe him away, but there's nobody on behalf of Utah rather who can really deal with him on a consistent basis. They switched over to that Roadhog to try and look for hooks, but right now it's like Rain still having free reign on this team fight.
Have the nano boost, but Rain comes in. He's in the backline once again. 1 swipe, 2 supports. He's gonna pick up the third. Actually, it's gonna be Eyeshiny who cleans up Polish Babe. Another great team fight coming out from Washington.
And this was such a clean fight coming out from Washington. You just send Rain in with the nano boost. He swipes left and right, and all of a sudden, all the supports are dead. And now they can trap them in this stairwell. Flycobo and Wong finding kills left and right. That's a triple kill coming out from a Reinhardt. And with 3 minutes and 31 seconds left on the clock, Washington made quick work of Utah.
Yeah, Rain is doing such a great job of just isolating out and finishing off the supports on his own, getting a two-piece every time he had that Dragon Blade. The 2-for-1 swipes, that you don't get better value than that.
No, you do not, but now it's all on to Utah to try and come back with an even faster victory, or just to tie it up, just to give them a little bit of hope going into maybe an overtime. But the way Washington is playing, it's going to be very, very hard to break through.
Yeah, currently Utah sitting on that triple tank composition again for the defense. Culture, for the offense, excuse me. On the side of Washington, though, yeah, they're going to go ahead and go for that triple tank also. Rain is going to be sticking on that Genji, and why not? Why fix it if it ain't broken?
Seriously. It's like if you find one study habit that works well for you in college, you just stick with it. For me, it was staying up until the last possible second and cramming right before any sort of test I had. Or I would just drop the class and take it next semester.
We here at TCS do not condone dropping your classes to retake it, but
what if you're on the verge of winning like a ton of scholarship money? That's extra money to go to more classes, right?
That you'll drop out of. But
do
right
not take
now,
advice from me. I'm so sorry. But going into this Utah, sitting at 0 points right now, obviously they haven't played their attack side out quite just yet. But the way that Washington stormed through them, hopefully they can find a decent amount of momentum on this first push, because Washington played that so very well. Rain is so impossible to deal with if you're Washington. They even switched over from May to Roadhog to try and isolate him, get a pick on him, but
they need a little bit more CC than that. I want to see either dropping that 3-2-1 or dropping Flame Turtle's Reaper in favor of a McCree. That flashbang can work wonders when you're trying to deal with Genji, or at least dropping one of the tanks for maybe a Winston who can just try and solo him out. But right now, there is no real answer for Rain. It's going to be down to Culture to try and land a beautiful hook onto him, but that hitbox is so hard to deal with.
Yeah, especially when Rain is super duper skinny on that Genji. It's always annoying when the most slippery characters also have the tiniest of hitboxes, but looks like Utah gonna push this payload ahead pretty uncontested thus far, but Washington, instead of sitting in the server room like Utah did first time around, they're gonna elect to take this fight a little bit more aggressively. You see one of the members of Washington looking for a fling. That's Rain, of course it's Rain. Why wouldn't it be Rain?
Yeah,
Looks to rain down some pain of his own, but the fight is gonna be taken into the server room as it looks like 2 kills being found by Wong. That's a lot of damage coming out from Washington, but Culture responds with 2 of his own. Here comes Culture looking for that hook refresh. He has it. He's looking for somebody to hook in, but the debuff coming out of the Ana shuts him down from healing. And right now, Washington doing a pretty good job of holding off Utah.
Yeah, Wong did a great job in that team fight. He landed the initial hook onto Flame Turtle, which started off the engagement, right? He was forced into Wraith form, so basically his combat effectiveness gone down to 0 at that point. University of Washington, they played that server room really well. They backed off. They didn't, tunnel vision onto one person at all, and they kept their heads on them. But now Rain consistently just poking at the members of University of Utah, just drawing the attention backwards. That's one of the worst things when you have to deal with a Genji who's constantly like a thorn in your side. But Culture getting that first kill onto Wong, though. Here's the Dragon Blade, though, with the Graviton Surge. Ice Shiny, Rain coming in. They're going to wipe this team.
Oh my god, I hope everybody was closing their eyes, because that was definitely not safe for work. How juicy did that look for Rain, who had that Dragon Blade, had the Ana standing by with a Nano Boost, and all of a sudden, Ice Shiny throws down that Graviton Surge and sucks all of the members in. Like, when you're a Genji, you just have to look at your teammates and be like, all right, boys, I got this. It feels so good in a spot like that.
Yeah, Nice Shiny definitely has been doing a great job on this Zarya. I imagine he probably plays it in Heroes of the Storm also, but now University of Utah, they're going to wrap their ways around and actually take control away from University of Washington. They have server room control right now, but that means the payload's not getting pushed. It's getting pushed back this entire time as Washington are just getting free damage onto them. The hook did come out, but nice barrier coming out. Wong is the one that's going to actually finish off Culture. Now here comes the Graviton Surge, but a great whole hog will disengage that fight. We saw the Reaper try to get into the backline, that Flame Turtle, but he was immediately shut down. Wong's taking him out. Great hook coming in. Polish Babe might not be long for the world as the Graviton Surge comes in. Wong with a 3-piece there to finish off that fight.
What great intelligence and patience from Wong to step away from the Graviton Surge coming out of Utah and to lay down the whole hog, gaining his team a lot of time to really counter-engage, and in order to enable iShiny to get his own off, and all of a sudden, Utah's just sitting at 58 seconds left on the clock. They still have quite a distance to go with this payload, and Washington may just stomp them out with the 3-0 right here, right now.
They have the spin to win, though, and I think that's what they're going for. They're immediately engaging onto them
Dragon
right
Blade.
now, but there we go. Dragon Blade coming out, and he's going to immediately take out Cian, but Cian was able to get the Nano Boost off onto Flame Turtle. He's got the Death Blossom, picks up a double off of that, but no, just turn to your right. Culture's so low. He does miss that now. Flame Turtle is on to this honor right now. He has to be careful. He does Wraith Form away for now, and there we go. Wise Diablo finally getting cleaned up by the Empire, and so University of Utah were able to finish this off and get the first checkpoint.
Washington may be putting a little too much faith into Rain and not necessarily paying attention or respect to the other members of Utah. You just let a Reaper reign free, not Rain, that Rain's Akenshi, roam free on your backline, and those are the things that are gonna happen. Washington very easily could have shut the game out right here, right now, and I feel like that's just a missed opportunity by Washington to close it out. Now Utah have 2.5 minutes left on the clock to push ahead, and considering how they're playing, I feel like that's just a momentum boost that they need to push ahead through this warehouse.
Yeah, so Fly Kobo sitting on this Earth Shatter, waiting for it. He can taste this Earth Shatter. There we go. He lands onto 4, immediately shutting down Culture. And now we do have Sly. He did answer back with Flame Turtle in the back line. We've got that Graviton Surge coming out, but Wong is going to be the recipient of that Nano Boost. He is put to sleep, though. He was able to pick up 2 kills before he went down. And now he's on the hunt for any stragglers here, and it's going to be down to this Lucio along with this Reinhardt to keep this alive.
Decent number of blue team members around him. He's trying to fight them off, and he's doing a good job with that fire. Oh, beautiful chain coming out. Wong taking down Sly and Washington, holding off Utah for just a little bit longer. Minute 35 left on the clock. Let's look at the ultimates. Polish Babe has one. Soulman and Rain on Washington's side, they have their ultimates as well. And we know how well Rain has been doing with that Dragon Blade. He's just looking for an opportunity to drop down. If he can manage to find a couple of big kills, especially on the supports, like it's been doing the entire map, this could be very good for Washington.
Speaking of kills onto support, that's Soulman getting one with that Zenyatta. So now it's a 6v5 fight, a minute 10 left on the clock for Utah. They don't have to force this engagement now. They can wait for the respawns, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. But currently, both teams just trying to work up their ultimate charges.
Yeah, no real reason for Washington to rush out and look for a team fight right now, especially since they only have a couple of ultimates up. The onus is on Utah to push ahead and look for this fight themselves. And here they go. They're going to go in with the Beyblade. They're going to look for assassination on the backline. So far, they found one, but it gets knocked off, and Rain responds with 4 of his own. iShiny picking up 1 as well, and all the members of Utah fall in one fell swoop by Rain's sword. Somebody buy this guy a beer or a soda if he's under 21, because this guy is hard carrying this team.
Yeah, right now, Rain with that Dragon Blade, he was waiting for it, picked up a 4-piece off of that. And unfortunately for Flame Turtle, he did not get that great positioning with his nano-boosted Death Blossom there. And so that spelled defeat, but Sly immediately taking out Rain with that charge. Great Earth Shatter comes in, lands onto the remaining members of Washington. Now they are getting cleaned up. Culture picks up one onto Wong, and now Sly pushing forward to get Shiny, but he gets put to sleep. Empire trying to chase down Shiny. Shiny just trying to keep this alive for as long as possible. Overtime now ticking down.
Oh, I think if he stays alive for just a little bit longer, Washington can come back into this. Shiny did a great job building up ult charge and getting up to 100 energy in that exchange. Now it's the final fight. Washington looking to end it right here, but Wong drops in the middle. Flame Turtle switching over to that Tracer, looks to be paying off thus far, but all of them get sucked into the Graviton Surge. Utah, however, still finding kills in the kill feed. Culture with the Nano Boost, diving onto the back line. Now it's a tank-on-tank fight. Fly Kobo going down as well. Here comes Rain, dipping and dodging out, but there's not much a Genji can do. 1v6 against this entire team. Right when we thought this was over, University of Utah fighting new life. Minute 30 left on the clock. Washington have to hold on.
Oh yeah, Rain was able to make it to the safety of his team, but not Wong, who does go down. So right now, 6v5. University of Utah will be pushing forward this payload. Soulman fell to his death there. Not too sure where he was on the map. Might have just not wanted to give away the ultimate charge to Utah. So Rain does have his Dragon Blade at the ready. He can combo with the Earth Shatter. They've even got the Nano Boost almost ready there. Great charge coming in with the Earth Shatter, lands onto Culture. That's going to be iShiny picking up that kill. Now Rain is in the backline. He's not going to pop his Dragon Blade quite yet, though. We do have the Nano Boost on the Tracer, actually. That's going to be Flame Turtle going down to Soul Man, and that's going to be Utah getting cleaned up and forced back.
I mean, what an insane amount of patience being displayed by Rain here, not popping it as soon as he saw the two supports. He knew that the rest of his team had the damage capability and the positioning to clean up the team fight without his Dragon Blade. And now with only 23 seconds left on the clock, considering that he still has his ultimate available, with iShiny and Wonks coming up, they pretty much, it was like an insurance play. They knew that they didn't have to use Rain's Dragon Blade, and now, as a result of that, they're going to be able to use it in this next fight to shut down Utah.
Oh yeah, the supports have to be careful. They don't want to group up here. We do have the Nano Boost coming out on the side of Utah, but now here we go. Graviton Surge, and Culture gets the hook, takes out Rain. So now it's a 3-for-1 trade. Make that a 4-for-1 as Culture comes on in. This is in overtime right now. They cannot be stopped, or it will be over for them now. Slide does get put to sleep by Wise Diablo, but he will get cleaned up by them, and now they're trying there. There we go. Rain is onto the point, keeping it alive, but the Earth Shatter will take him out, and that's going to be Utah stopping Washington.
That was so close. We thought Rain used that as like an insurance policy to make sure that they would win the next team fight, but they were ready with the Roadhog hook, waiting for that Genji to jump into the team fight, and they're able to shut him down right away. But it looks like, considering that Washington did finish ahead, still a ways to go.
Yeah, so Utah getting 1 minute added to their clock now. Things looking pretty dire for them. They've only got 1 minute to push, while Washington have 4 minutes and 31 seconds to work with right now. Washington, they're going to stick to that composition that was working out for them so well. And, you know, it came down to clutch time, right? Utah. Overtime. Yeah, okay, we'll win this team fight and be able to get the checkpoint over and over again. We'll see if they'll be able to recreate that because, you know, after a minute, it's going to be overtime for the rest of the map. So we'll see how well they can mount this offense.
And it's really interesting to see what kind of strategies these teams implement when they get into an overtime situation, especially on a map like Gibraltar where you have a decent amount of distance to go, a lot of places for the enemy to hide, and you only have a minute to work with. So you see a lot of teams kind of pull out faster scaling heroes, people like Anna, Reinhardt, decently good at charging ultimate very fast, but the fact that they're sitting on somebody like a Zarya and a Reaper who take a little bit longer, if this first team fight doesn't go well, I feel like it's over for Utah.
Yeah, they do not have that much time to work with. They are immediately 3 on the payload. They got to push this as far as possible to give themselves some breathing room. Rain still on this Genji, getting some shots off onto the members of University of Utah right now. Now it looks like Washington want to contest here in the underpass.
This is all going to be a patience game from Utah. They still have all 6 members of their team. They're waiting on the ultimate coming out from Sly. He's pretty darn close, considering we're only 30 seconds into the game. That first pick is going to be very important. The rest of the members of Washington push back into that server room. Utah slowly looking for presence, and it looks like the first team fight about to break out. Washington, however, on the winning side. Fly Kobo, all of the members of Utah falling to the hands of Washington in that first fight, and with 10 seconds left on the clock, the fat lady has sung.
Yeah, Fly Kobo didn't want to be outdone by Rain there, so getting his own 2 kills with 1 swipe, and we've got the Graviton Surge just to put a stop to the offense there. So only 61.17 meters on the board for University of Utah, and Washington have 4 minutes and 31 seconds to beat that distance.
Not gonna lie, it would be pretty hilarious to see Utah win here.
A 4-minute, 31-second hold against them at 60 meters.
Dude, if Utah wins here, you know how tilted you'd be on Washington?
I'd be pretty tilted. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
That would be really tilting, and that's the kind of thing that you have to kind of keep in mind when you're playing extended series like this. This isn't a best of 1. This is a best of 3, and if Utah somehow managed to come out ahead on this, there's a good chance that Washington goes on tilt and Utah are able to ride that momentum into the second map. But of course, this is a pretty tall order considering that Washington have like 4.5 times the amount of time that Utah did. So I don't know. I've seen crazier things happen. I had a prom date 2 years in a row, so crazier things have happened.
Yeah, this is going to be a real Herculean effort, just like trying to find a prom date 2 years in a row.
Damn, dude, that's BM. It's my first time casting with you. You can't go there, dude.
I went there, and now they have to go the distance. Not that far, actually. It's only 62 meters that they have to beat. So University of Washington right now, they do have wonked sitting on that Hanzo, and I wouldn't be surprised if actually they went with it. And they're also switching off Fly Kobo onto that Winston. So, you know, they're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure. Never mind.
And of course, as you say that, of course, Caster Skirts comes into play. Washington's
I don't even know why I try.
Oh, Shiny, don't do this, baby.
Oh, he's doing it.
Oh, honey,
he's
please.
doing it. Bastion is out on the
Are
field
they pain training this?
UW right now. They're trying to establish him on the payload. Actually, Shiny might just...
They're hiding it.
Yeah.
They don't know there's a Bastion yet. I think he's going to go up, jump right onto the payload as soon as it's about to... or maybe he's just going to set up right... Oh my god, this is so dirty. Close your eyes, everybody.
No, don't close your eyes. I mean, this is some exciting Overwatch going on right now, guys. This might work.
It's been spotted out quite just yet. If he manages to get a plant down and just mow through... Oh, God.
Here it comes.
Laying down the damage. This is going to be so bad. When he gets focused down, the sleep dart comes through to find him. And Utah just doing everything they can to hold off Washington right now.
So, yeah, Flame sure to gain that first frag onto Fly Kobo. Shiny going down to Cian. So, Cian cleaning that up, and that's going to force back UW. UW trying to go for this cheeky Bastion play. Didn't quite work out for them yet, but they still have 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to work with. So they could test out lots of different compositions, but instead they're just going to go back to tried and true. Ice Shiny going back to that Zarya.
And something to keep in mind here, compared to when Utah was pushing with the 1 minute that they had, considering that Washington had 4.5 minutes, that means that they're able to play through a couple of ult charges and have multiple angles at which they can attack these team fights. But Culture gonna throw out the Blizzard right there to shut down any sort of push. Want gets the hook down, but the ice too strong to break through. It's like Washington gonna reset a little bit, look for this next push down here. This May doing a great job of zoning the rest of the members out, but oh! No shift available means you have to run away. Somehow makes it out by the skin of her teeth. And now Utah is responding in the kill feed. Culture finding the first one. Here comes the hammer. Culture finding a second one. This May going absolutely huge in this fight right now. And the rest of the members of Utah now pushing back Washington. 2 minutes, 43 seconds left on the clock. Dude, if Utah actually managed to win this, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, but their next team fight is going to be very difficult right now as University of Washington. They're just farming their ultimates right now. They've got 3 on deck, almost 2 more, while Utah only have the 2, and they're a little ways away from the rest of them. Empire, Sly sitting on about 35%, Cian at 26. So the arms race definitely in favor of Washington right now.
So very close. That payload is so close. 3 ultimates available for Utah. Here comes a Graviton Surge from Washington, though. If they can chain this, it's going to be big. Rain finding the support. Empire going down is big for Washington, but Elsa lets it go and lets the Blizzard freeze the members of Washington. 2 members dropping, but Fly Kobo responding with a couple of his own. Here it comes. The payload still needing to be pushed. Washington finding a decent amount of kills, but are there any members of Utah remaining? It's just a Reinhardt. He's trying to find an entrance into this fight. The payload getting so close. This is their window.
Oh, you just need to swing on him. There we go. He's going to get the charge, get the kill onto Slide. Now it's all down to the Lucio, but they're going to be able to finish it off against University of Utah. So, in the second half, Washington were able to take it against them here on Gibraltar, and that was a pretty close match. I mean, both teams were able to finish off, but Washington had such a great lead on their time. 4 minutes and 31 seconds just to beat 61 meters.
And for a split second there, I thought that maybe Utah can reach deep and pull it off, but I mean, Washington eventually clutching up, and when you have that much of a time lead and that many ultimates to work with, it's kind of hard to screw up, especially considering how decisively they played the first half of Gibraltar. So Washington going into the series with a very, very decent 1-0 lead, and we'll see if Utah can bounce back in the second map.
And yeah, Washington looked really coordinated. I like how they worked around, you know, the Graviton Surges along with that Dragon Blade. So they comboed that expertly. Anytime, you know, Ice Shiny landed it on like 4 or 5 members, Rain would go right on in with the Dragon Blade. And even solo, he would be able to get into the back line with the Nano Boost, or basically even without it, and still pick up like 2 supports. So yeah, great play coming out from the entirety of the UW lineup.
And of course, when you're facing problems as a team on behalf of the other team, like there's somebody that you're having trouble dealing with, a certain strategy that you're not prepared for, there's a couple ways you can deal with that. Either that's by changing up your own hero composition, or by really re-examining the way you draft the next map. And it looks like University of Utah, they're electing to go play on Kings Row. The past 2 series, we've seen teams go from Gibraltar to Control Point, but for now, we're going to see a hybrid.
Yeah, so hybrid map, it's Kings Row. Everyone's played this map before, you know it. Everyone loves it. I mean, it's been around since the beta. Not too many changes. Actually, I think just minor spawn time
or like
changes.
Some health pack values.
Yeah, so pretty much one of the more balanced maps that everyone agrees they love to play on, and they definitely have to have experience on. One thing we're probably going to be seeing a lot of, Mei.
Yeah, that Mei, especially in that first point, does a great job of blocking off that main corridor or that street into the point activation. She can wall off a lot of the windows where people, like sometimes people take Pharahs up there, Widowmakers, sometimes even a pocket Junkrat comes into play. It'd be interesting to see if that kind of pocket pick comes out.
Yeah, we saw on the side of University of Utah, Culture. He was doing a really good job on that Mei.
That Mei. We saw a lot of those. You know, I try to find something nice to say about Mei, but every time I play against Mei in competitive
No, it's
play,
that inherent hate of the character that everyone has. Just when she freezes you and you have to look into those beady eyes, nothing feels good about that at all.
I hate that she became meta, I'm not going to lie. I appreciate the variety of strategy that we see in competitive gaming, but damn, Mei, I just don't like. But she's so very useful, especially if you're able to position yourself very well, play around your cooldowns, because you're effectively like a 5-second distraction on the other team. Omnics stay underground.
We here at TCS are not Omnicist at all, by the way. We're just trying to highlight the hate that is in this world and hope that we can change it here. Change it here for the Tespa Collegiate Series. It's going to be UW facing off against University of Utah here on Kings Row. UW starting off on the attacking side. University of Utah on the defense, so another standard comp, but doesn't look like they're actually going to be pulling out a Mei at all.
You know what was one of my favorite strategies way back when competitive Overwatch? On Kings Row, before hero limits were implemented, I would often see teams go top window, 6 Hanzos, and just scatter shot the point.
Yeah, just the Hail Mary play, right? Just hope for one kill.
And 20% of the time, it worked every time.
Yeah, it looks like we did have a substitute coming in, so no Culture. It's actually going to be Snap coming in on the side of University of Utah there, and Snap will be picking up that Roadhog for them.
That's surprising, because I thought Culture was doing very decently for Utah, finding a lot of these freezes.
Maybe he has class.
Okay, Culture, come back. You can always make up class, tell the professor you were sick, or that you were playing in the Tespa Collegiate Series, bribe them with the scholarship money. No, don't do that. Not at all. I don't think that's how it works anyway.
Yeah, but also we've got another sub coming in on the side of Washington, so Sheifu is going to be on that squad for this one. Now we do have the gates unlocking and Washington pushing forward. They've got a standard composition 2-2-2 coming out for them against the 3-2-1 on the side of University of Utah. They've made their way straight on over, but a great hook coming in, and it's going to be Empire to follow it up to get that kill onto iShiny. Doesn't even have the opportunity to fall to the ground.
So that's why they subbed him in. We just learned that Snap is actually a Grandmaster ranked player in Overwatch, so it makes a lot of sense to pull out the Grandmaster right now. I don't know why you wouldn't play him in the first place, considering that, Grandmasters are pretty damn good at the game. But first off, first pick coming through on behalf of Utah. Very good start for them. Let's see if Washington can play this patiently, find a way into this fight, because right now Utah doing a pretty decent job at holding them off.
Yeah, Snap trying to land that hook, but no, he gets swarmed on by 3 members. iShiny taking out the Empire. We do have the Earth Shatter coming out, but it only lands onto a few members on the side of University of Utah. That's going to be enough. There we go. Oh, Flame got the nano boost, but immediately went down. So that's going to be a great first team fight coming out from Washington.
I mean, in so many situations in Overwatch, you see teams trading ultimates for objectives, objectives for ultimates instead. And this is a situation where Utah we're completely shut down by this strong push of Washington. Right now, Washington still have 2 ultimates to work with Diablo and Shifu. With those chaining, Deadeye, Nano Boost can do a lot of damage to the backline. And Snap does have that whole hog, though, so let's see if that Grandmaster skill comes into play.
Yeah, but Washington, they've got that spin to win, that Beyblade composition ready. They just need to pull the trigger now. They do know one member, it's going to be Snap off on the right, so he is a little bit isolated there. I don't know if they're going to try and capitalize on that right now, but here we go. Nano Boosted Reaper coming in, but he gets hooked away from the team. Snap taking 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 for the team, but still, Wonged is getting into the backline. Flame Turtle was able to play up iShiny. Graviton Surge came out, but no follow-up quite yet. And so, University of Utah will hold on for now. They're trying to force back the offense. Wonged has to be careful. He does make it to the safety of his team. Shifu find a kill onto Polish Babe, though, in the back line. So now he's going to rejoin the team, and we do have Utah still trying to contest, although they are a few members down, and Wonged will push forward. Earth Shatter comes on out. Wonged is able to shift out of that, but will the rest of the Washington be able to escape that fate. Flame Turtle finds the kill onto Wise Diablo, but it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade as CM comes in, gets the kill onto Fly Kobo, forcing back Washington.
Now, Washington still have 4 minutes to work with here, so they still have a decent amount of time to play that patient game and slowly march that payload through the streets. Because as soon as we get out of the streets, the game completely changes. We go from this very claustrophobic CQC-style combat into a more open fight. And Nice Shiny starts it off by finding 2. Wong's finding Polish Babe on the outside, and here they come. Washington now pushing the back line of Utah. They've lost so many members of their own team. Flame Turtle has to be careful. This Zarya has a lot of energy charged up. 84 on the clock, 97. The ultimate is up. She's gonna throw it right away to try and get the members of Utah out of this fight. The shield goes up. Oh, he waits just in time for it to drop and finds 2 members by himself. What incredible patience coming out of Shifu.
Yeah, University of Washington so aggressive at this point. We do have the Graviton Surge coming out along with the nano-boosted Reinhardt. Not going to finally pick up a kill. There we go, a double for him, and that's going to force the offense back finally as the payload almost made it to the checkpoint.
Oh God, what a throw. What happened? You found so many kills as Washington, and Utah somehow managed to come back from that and now march the payload backwards. That's a situation where I feel like Washington maybe overcommitted, bit off a little bit too much that they could actually chew and swallow, so Utah now in a much better position to defend this. 2 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock, but Washington do have 3 ults on the table as well. So if they pop all of them at the same time, who the hell knows what could happen?
All right, we do have Snap in the back line, but he's immediately going to get cleaned up by iShiny. So now it's a 6v5 fight as the rest of Washington push forward. Now we've got the nano boost on that Reinhardt, but nice Earth Shatter comes out from Fly Kobo, but in the back line, Sly finds a kill onto Wong. There we go, Fly finally answering back, taking out Polish Babe, and Shifu coming in with that McCree will pick up a kill for himself, and Fly Kobo just clearing out this payload by himself.
And this is the horror of a Reinhardt with nano boost on him. If you are not ready for it, he's just gonna jump on your team, and there's nothing you can do to stop him. Right now, Washington now going to get it to this final checkpoint. A little bit more time added to the clock for them. They have 3 minutes and 20 seconds to finish out this last stretch on Kings Row and secure themselves a 2-0 victory in the TCS.
Yep, they do have the Deadeye along with that speed boost. Not a combo we see often, but it might be pulled out here by Shifu, as we do have Utah trying to defend this payload, but it's still going uncontested for now. Now we do have that whole hog coming out, and Graviton Surge with the Deadeye. Is he going to be displaced
patience. He's going to find anybody? No one actually, it expires.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to find anything off of that because of the great whole hog coming out, and there we go. That's one of the scariest sights, right? When you have a nano-boosted Reinhardt just barreling down on you like tunnel vision.
Yeah, and it's like the scene in Indiana Jones where that giant rock, except this rock has a hammer and is glowing blue and is on super steroids.
So it's nothing like Indiana Jones at this point.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We do have the Earth Shatter for Sly at this point, so we'll see when he pops it. I mean, it could be followed up by the Death Blossom coming up from Flame Turtle also. So a lot of great engage tools for Utah in the pocket right now, but on the side of UW, they've also got an Earth Shatter now. We do have Fly Kobo pushing in, but it's going to be Snap that gets the kill onto Wong. Here we go, Graviton Surge, Death Blossom, not quite yet. He's going to hold on to it. It doesn't matter as Sly picks up a double. Snap coming in to clean up Fly Kobo.
Utah taking these fights around the corner so very, very well. We've seen Sly go off in the past couple of team fights, and if he can continue this momentum up, it's very hard to play against a Reinhardt player who feels like he is unstoppable. Now, Washington, they do have 5 ultimates to work with, and 3 kills popping up on behalf of them in the kill feed. Gonna make this push a whole lot easier. That's 5 members dropping on behalf of Utah. Make that a clean team kill on behalf of Washington. And now they just have a little bit more distance to push ahead. They're so very close to the final checkpoint on Kings Row. Now, University of Utah, they have 3 ultimates to work with. They have every tool in their book to stop them.
Yeah, but Washington have a lot more. They've got that Nano Boosted Reaper at the ready. Is he going to be able to get it off? He does. Here comes the Death Blossom. Sound Barrier is not going to be enough to keep them alive as Wong picked up 2. Fly Kobo picks up 1 for himself. In the backline, we do have some minor heroics going on. Sly was able to let an Earth Shatter. Is that going to be enough for them to hold on? No, I think he just got booped off by iShiny's right clicks, and now iShiny picks up a kill for himself. That's most of the members down on the side of University of Utah. It's going to be down to this Ana to try to keep it alive. Snap pushes forward with that whole hog, is able to pick up 1 kill, but iShiny again just cleaning up these tanks, no problem. We do have the Diva out on the side of Utah to try and delay for as long as possible. Even the Winston coming up, but Graviton Surge, that's going to allow them to clean it up, and that's going to be Washington finishing off Kings Row with 39 seconds left.
Now, not a whole lot of time compared to their 4.5 minutes they had on Gibraltar, but still, the fact that they got it all the way to the end with a little bit of time to boot, going to make them pretty decently comfortable going into the second side. But it all depends on how Utah play this opening fight, because we've seen many teams in competitive Overwatch get shut down before they're even able to activate the payload. Because if you feed kills through that main street by that bus near that statue, there's no way you can push through a team with 6 ultimates.
Yeah, we'll see. Neither team quite opting for that May quite yet, which we see is pretty prevalent here on Kings Row. We'll see if Wonk might want to go for it. On the side of Utah, though, pretty standard composition coming out. They're still running that 3-2-1 that they feel so comfortable with, and you know, they were using it to great effect on the defense there, especially once they reached the underground, the foundry portion. They had some great team fights. Unfortunately, Washington were able to break through. They had that 5 ultimate advantage to work with on that final push.
Yeah, but the fact that it took 5 ultimates to break through may be a little bit concerning if you're the members on Washington. We've seen them do very well with very few ultimates in a lot of these team fights, but the fact that they had to burn 5 at the very end, maybe speaking a little bit towards a little bit of frantic play coming out from Washington's side, but at the same time, that final stretch is where a lot of teams fail, because getting from that little last straight stretch on the payload to that actual platform where it activates, it's so hard because the defending team spawns so very, very close to it. And then if you bring out people like the Diva and the Tracer like Utah did in the previous round, you can extend it for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, the stall tactics definitely working out for them. They were able to shave off maybe another 30, 40 seconds there. Taking a look at the offensive setup, though, Flame Turtle sitting on that Widowmaker. So we'll see if, you know, he can get those picks. Nope, never mind. Immediately switches off to Winston.
What have we learned?
Nothing. We've learned nothing.
You know nothing, James Lee.
All right, so 4-tank composition coming out from Utah here. Flame Turtle going to try and jump in onto the backline. We'll see if that works out for him. Snap, unfortunately, not able to land that hook quite yet. Now, Washington have backed off this point, so they're just going to wait and try and get them to commit to the point before they commit to a team fight.
They're just looking to brute force their way in. Washington definitely with the range advantage, but it doesn't really matter when you have a Roadhog and Winston sitting on your face. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Wong's finding a kill onto Sly, so 1 tank being down for Utah. They still have 3 left to break through, but it looks like Wong's finding 1. Flame Turtle, however, diving onto the backline, finding some very important kills. Both supports on behalf of Washington down, and that's a Graviton Surge coming out so early into the game.
And a nano-boosted Winston coming in. He's on the hunt for Shifu. Will clean him up, picks up a double. Is this going to be a triple for him? It should be. The Zarya barrier keeping her alive for now, and she will be able to back off, but Utah have broken the defense of Washington.
That's a very quick break compared to Washington themselves. So now they have 5 minutes and 20 seconds to make it to the actual checkpoint before they enter that indoor area. So 3 ultimates to work with on behalf of Utah, especially with that Winston Primal Rage. It's going to be very hard for Washington to peel for somebody like an Ana who's maybe getting dove on. So this next fight, very close quarters in the hallways of Kings Row. Let's see how they take it.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Washington switch off to a Roadhog here, go for that double shotgun composition, because they deal with barriers really well, but so does a nano-boosted Wong, who gets immediately put to sleep, is going to have to back off. But there we go. Earthshatter comes in along with the Graviton Surge, and it's going to be Snap that cleans up Wong, and Flame Turtle on that Winston, putting in huge work. There we go. The tank's just cleaning up on the side of University of Utah. Washington not quite switching off to deal with this yet.
And this, I think, is a lot of pride being shown by Washington, not switching off to some of the hardest counters to tanks in the game. When you have access to a double shotgun comp in the form of the Reaper and the Roadhog, why would you not pull it out against a team with double barriers, a Zarya, a Roadhog on top of that, and you can just burst down the supports if they ever manage to get out of position. But the fact that they're staying on this, they're still greeting for their ult charges, this may cost them.
Yeah, Graviton Surge does come out. Shifu has his Deadeye, and he is able to connect onto Polish Bay, but in the backslide, picks up a double for himself. He's still on the hunt for more, but he's getting hunted himself. Now, we do have Snap. He did pick up Wise Diablo, so now the supports are down, and Shifu getting hooked in by Snap.
Wow, that was a very last-second hook, and Utah putting in Snap at the last second in between games turned out to be a very good decision on their part. If you're losing the first game, you either maybe switch up your composition or make an adjustment to your map drafting, or you just throw in a Grandmaster level player and help him hard carry your team to a victory.
Now we do have Shifu has switched off to that Roadhog now, so we'll see how this double shotgun composition does fare. It should be able to work through a lot of these barriers here. Now we do have Snap in the back. He was put to sleep slightly, but the Earth Shatter comes out. There we go. Sly gets the kill onto Wise Diablo. We do have the Primal Rage coming up from Flame Turtle now, and he's just creating so much havoc in the back line. Wongt can't even deal with him right now. Sly picking up the kill onto Fly Kobo, and yeah, who says Reaper counters Winston? There we go, getting the kill onto Wongt. Now, Utah making great time here with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. Ice Shiny actually gonna kill himself to the right clicks, and now great hook coming up from Snap.
Oh, the Graviton Surge completely misses, but it doesn't look like it matters a whole lot because Utah is still rolling through the members of Washington. Snap and Sly have been popping up in this kill feed so often. Wongt and Shifu come through for a couple of kills of their own. Shifu doing everything he can to peel the members of Utah off of this precious payload. Here comes Flame Turtle, just left click, shifting, jumping in and out of the fight, left and right. But Shifu and Fly Kobo going big, finding an extra couple of kills in the kill feed. It was just a few meters away, 3.62 meters away from the activation point. With 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, Utah just need one more good fight.
Yeah, just one more good team fight, and they have the tools to do it. They've got the Earth Shattered. They almost have the Primal Rage, along with the Sound Barrier, and great hook coming in. Is he going to be able to clean up that kill? It's going to be Post Babe that comes in after that hook. So now, great Earth Shadow lands onto all 5 members of Washington. They're starting to get cleaned up here. We do have Wongt in the back line, along with the counter Earth Shatter, but is that going to be enough for them to hold on for now?
Oh my god, I don't care what you say about any of the other players. Sly just single-handedly won that last team fight for them. They managed to get an early pick, and then that Earth Shatter hit every single member of Washington. We said how Washington did pretty decently in their first push, and how 39 seconds may just be a cherry on top, but oh boy, they're wishing that they ended that first game a lot faster.
Yeah, that change up onto the double shotgun comp just came way too late. They gave up way too much ground on the streets portion. There was almost no contestation on that payload, and as a result, Utah 3 minutes and 27 seconds left to work with.
That's a lot of time compared to the 1 minute of Washington.
And now it
that was
looks
also
like
some top-level analysis for me. You're welcome, everybody.
It looks like Washington might want to try and recreate that 4-tank composition of their own at this point. Fly Kobo sitting on the Diva, Wongt on the Winston. We've got the Zarya along with Shifu on the Roadhog, but they don't have a Reinhardt shield to play around, so it just might mean a lot of free damage and free ultimate charge on the side of Utah.
I mean, this is something where if Washington commit in one direction and are able to find Utah off guard, they can easily sweep this first team fight 6-0, get the payload activated, and ride their momentum from there on out. However, if you're Washington and you execute poorly on the first push, then it's essentially over. Looks like Fly Kobo actually electing to switch over from that Mei to that Reinhardt, maybe electing for a little bit of a slower, safer push because, I mean, they only really have one good fight in them.
Yeah, and we do know how snowbally a lot of these team fights can be. Shifu trying to land the hook, but he's got a lot of barriers to try and deal with right now. Working on this Reinhardt shield. There we go. It's going to go down. Sly has to be careful, but he does get that Zarya barrier. Gets a great hook, great charge onto Wongt, and now Flame Turtle comes in. Finding Soulman out there. He is going to have to back away, but damage done.
Boy.
Great hook coming in from Snap there. Shifu gets cleaned up, and now only 25 seconds left to work with. UW have to back away. They can't bleed any more kills.
And 25 seconds left, and we have Sly at 100% of his ult charge. We saw how big he went at the end of the previous round, hitting that 5-man Earth Shatter, and I feel like with that confidence, he did a decent job. But Washington now have priority over the point. Utah need to get in there for the Graviton Surge. He manages to shift walk out of there. Flame Turtle looking for damage on the backside. He's going to have to get rid of these members of Washington. It's so very, very close. 2 ticks taken, but finally Utah find a whole bunch of kills in the kill feed. But here comes Washington. They're not done quite just yet. They're in overtime looking to activate this point to maybe get 1 point on the board going to the second side, but it looks like it's too much. Utah shut them down, keep Washington to 3 points.
Wow. So great hold coming out from University of Utah there, making the proper, adjustments. They didn't go for the 4-tank for the hold. They went with that Reaper who just immediately shredded through the lineup of University of Washington. They were trying to run that triple tank themselves. And so great hold for them. And now they just have 3 minutes and 37 seconds left to work with just to capture point A to tie up this series.
I've seen crazier things happen where you have, 5 minutes left to take this first point, and then the defending team just goes absolutely ham.
Yeah,
this is a possibility for Washington to actually keep away Utah. This isn't over by any stretch.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Washington still have the opportunity to tie up this map against them, but it's a pretty tall task. 3 minutes and 27. They do have that May, so the delay tactics for them. Shifu picking up. Never mind. Never mind.
Why are we highlighting all the mean areas of the map? Aren't there like nice flowers or what's showing at the movie theater?
Yeah, this is supposed to be a safe Omnic space, guys.
Yeah, we're all about equality and inclusion here at the Tespa Collegiate series.
Silence.
Oh, that's what's playing.
There
Hero
we go.
That's funny because there's a game from Blizzard called Heroes of the Storm, and this is called Hero of My Storm, so it's a funny play on words.
I didn't know there was any kind of relation whatsoever. But
everybody
right
in
now,
Twitch chat just going, duh. What is this guy talking about? 3 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock for Utah to take this first point. They've been playing very, very well. The substitution of Snap coming in very, very clutch for Utah. Let's see if they can make it happen. They just need to cap this point and they win this map.
Oh, Fly Kobo going in with that charge, unable to connect, but Shifu will with his Hellfire shotguns taking out Cian, and there we go. Gets a second kill, taking out Snap. So they shut down this first attack for now.
That's a very good shutdown as well because they didn't lose any members of their team, especially considering how far away they spawn. Now the Ana has 73% on her ulti. She was able to find a kill on top of doing all the healing. Shifu halfway to his Death Blossom. And I feel like if they play this very safely and they don't get picked for any unnecessary reason, they could very easily tie up this map.
Ooh, Hook just barely missing onto Cian there as Wonk is just trying to find anything here, but neither Roadhog's actually able to connect quite yet. But there we go. As I say that, the hooks are coming in. We do have the Nano Boost coming out, it looks like, on the side of UW, but it's not going to be enough as Polish Babe finds the first frag onto Wonk, and now Snap pushing forward. He's got his whole hog. He's right on top of that Ana, going to force him out of the fight. We do have the Graviton Surge coming out on the side of UW, but there's no follow-up damage. There we go. Earth Shadow to shut down that Reaper. Now we do have Ice Shiny. He did pick up 2 kills, but Sly is nano boosted, and he is on top of the UW squad.
Kills getting traded by left and right. Shiny still staying alive on the point to try and buy him a little bit more time. And here come reinforcements. Flame Turtle finally takes down Ice Shiny, but the rest of UW is here. Can they find the kills? Reinhardt is left. He's taking a lot of damage for free, but Wonk finds Snap on the other side. That's their clutch substitute member going down. And here comes the Primal Rage, just slapping people left and right. Diving onto the backline. Sion finds Fly Kobo. And it looks like the University of Utah making a very concerted push onto this first point. They only have a few more members to clean up. And here we go, the point ticking up. Ice Shiny knows it's all over. He's just going to sit back and watch.
Wow, so we're finally going to a map number 3 here as University of Utah close it out here on Kings Row. So yeah, they definitely knew what they were doing pushing forward here on Kings Row. They had that pocket strat of the, quad tank setup, and it definitely paid off for them.
And you also have to consider the fact that they switched out one of their players in between map 1 and map 2, Culture, in order to bring Snap in, who was a Grandmaster level player. He created so many good fights by hooking people on that Roadhog. I feel like whenever you bring a new player into the mix in the middle of a series, you kind of breathe a breath of fresh air into the team environment. You kind of shake off that tilt or the bad feelings that came from the previous loss. And Snap coming in, I feel like, was absolutely huge for Utah, now forcing a Game 3.
Yeah, it's a reset, right? It was a complete mental reset there, so they were able to tie it up. I mean, with the substitute coming in, they were allowed to play different compositions, something that UW definitely did not look ready for at all. Because as soon as that 4-tank comp came out, I was expecting a Roadhog immediately coming out from UW. But that didn't happen until the Foundry portion. And that adjustment, it might have just cost them the game.
There are so many crazy things that happened in that previous game. We're actually going to get a chance to check out some highlights. Snap, one of the players that we were highlighting over and over again in this game, going big with so many hooks. Shifu, this patient shield drop play. coming out, waiting for the absolute last second to pop that Deadeye. This was an incredibly scrappy map.
Yeah, and even here on the final hold coming out, I mean, a lot of stall tactics coming in from the side of University of Utah, so that only afforded them a minute to take the point on the side of University of Washington there. So a lot of great things adding up to a huge advantage for them, right? First, the stall on the final checkpoint bought them a lot of time, and then that quad tank setup.
Yeah.
Just pushed right through them. Like, there was almost no contest coming out, and like it really caught them off guard. Yeah,
the variety of adjustments you can make in this game, whether it's changing up your team comp, the map draft, it's all very, or just bringing in a substitute, because that is allowed. Something that's an interesting wrench to the mix, especially if you're a University of Washington, who took that first map pretty darn strong, but now faltering a little bit. But it seems like our third map is going to be on Hanamura. We went from a pure payload to a hybrid, and now we're going double capture points.
Yeah, so definitely talking about throwing a wrench into the works there. We're going to an assault type map, and yeah, we do also have the substitution coming in. Culture is going to be back in the game for Flame Culture. So yeah, a lot of swapping going on coming out from the teams. I mean, you know, both teams 3-0 right now. They want that #1 seed moving into the regional playoffs, so they got to pull every trick out of their hat.
And if you're a player getting subbed out, if you're playing on one of these Tespa teams, it's a situation where you shouldn't be too distraught, I would feel, because some players bring certain things to a team that maybe you're not necessarily super strong at, but you may bring. I'm just trying to make Flame Turtle feel better for getting subbed out right now.
No, we were talking about that mental reset, right? And then basically changing out your entire toolkit by one substitution. And we saw it happen with University of Utah. They were able to pull out the quad tank composition because, well, they brought in Snap, who has been doing fantastically on that Roadhog, which he is hovering over right now.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how Utah attack these two capture points, because we saw them do a very good job taking the first points on Kings Row. A little bit of faltering when it comes to actually pushing that payload across the map, but once they got to that second point where all the action was focused, I feel like Utah really starts to shine when all the action is concentrated into one small area. You know, it took me like months to realize that this was a ramen shop. The giant frog eating the ramen was definitely not enough of a hint for me.
Or all the pictures of ramen inside the shop.
Or the Murloc, rather.
Or the fact that we're in Japan and that's probably either a sushi restaurant or a ramen
sometimes
restaurant.
they have like Burger Kings and McDonald's in Japan. It's clearly not a Burger King or
No.
McDonald's.
But that is clearly an arcade that University of Washington is spawning out of right now, and it looks like they're going for a 3-tank comp themselves. Shifu will be picking up that Reaper. They're going to try and go for that spin-to-win comp, but on the side of University of Utah, they've got a triple tank also, but oh, they missed the wall off, so that Made not paying off for them so far, as Snap is put immediately to sleep. Sly was able to get first blood for his team, taking out Fly Kobo as Polish Babe cleans up Shifu, and now things are looking so good for Utah on their hold.
So many kills popping up in the kill feed for Utah, and they're just going to march on through, try and wipe out the rest of the members of Washington, see how one Maywall plays. Oh! Goodbye!
Yep, so that's less ultimate charge, but still a lot farmed on the side of University of Utah. I mean, taking a look at Snap, he's already at 81, Slides at 72, and then we've got Cian almost has his nano boost, so things are looking real good for the defense coming out.
Now, I like the substitution of Culture. I understand this now because he was the May player on Gibraltar. And when you're getting into a lot of these closed-off, very condensed areas on Hanamura, that Blizzard coming through and the ability to zone off with the wall, just like you see right there, coming in a little bit late, they're just going to jump over it, see how the team fight goes. It looks like University of Utah coming up first. Snap going absolutely big. Whole hog with the nano boost. That is a deadly recipe for success for Utah. Here he goes. Shotgun versus shotgun. Finds a hook and the double melee to shut him down. Washington getting shut down on their second push as Fly Kobo going to drop. Finally, so many members of Utah doing so incredibly well, and Washington struggling for answers.
I like what Washington's doing. Unfortunately, it's not working out for them. They're not getting walled off by, you know, the May, which is generally what happens. Like 2 or 3 members get caught out, and then they get cleaned up, and they get reset. They're pushing in together, coordinated as a team. Unfortunately, once they break in, there we go. They're going to go for it again, but this time the wall off is successful. Nice charge coming out. There we go. Culture will go down. He did get his Blizzard off, though. Is that going to be enough? Shifu comes in, with the nano boosted Death Blossom, picks up a double kill, and now Snap gets the hook onto iShiny. Is it going to be enough? No, he isn't able to secure that kill, and it looks like Washington were finally able to break that defense.
Oh, the timing was just a little bit off for Utah. Culture got a beautiful Blizzard down, but so much of Blizzard's value is when Mei is able to go in there and start headshotting people with their alternate fire. She got charged out right away by Fly Kobo. That shut down a lot of the potential damage output coming out from Utah, and as a result of that, we see Washington take this first point pretty decisively.
Yeah, that was real fast and real furious coming out from University of Washington. They still have 4 ultimates to work with as they try to go for this high ground push, but again, they are pushing into a Mei, so they have to do this very well coordinated or they will get walled off, and Culture is just waiting for it.
Just waiting and watching. 38 on her ultimate, so still a decent while to go, but considering that Utah have 4 on Snap, Sion, Polish Babe, and Sly.
There we go. They did it. They broke it. They did not get walled off. A nice Graviton Surge coming out. Going to land on 2, but that's going to be a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Washington. Make that a 4 as Cian picks up Fly Kobo.
It's always fun when you see all the team members of one team flood through that one side. Wong's finding a big pick onto them, and it looks like he's going to create havoc on this point. Just him available on the hill on behalf of Washington, but he's finally going to drop. Even the Ana getting on now the action with finding a 2-piece for herself.
Yeah, so great coordination coming out from Washington. Unfortunately, the damage not quite there. I mean, if you don't immediately kill that Mei with like a hook or even the charge like we saw earlier, it's so hard to continue that team fight, right? Mei just, she excels at these extended team fights, and so we saw there that when she stayed alive, when she got into a cryo freeze, she was just such a huge boon to the defense.
See right here, looks like Utah gonna stay relatively out of sight. Nobody's staying on that ground level. It's like Star Wars Episode 3. I have the high ground. I win. The best Star Wars movie.
And this is why we are friends, because I quote that almost every cast. Now here we go, Shifu pushing forward, but it's going to be Snap with the nano-boosted Whole Hog pushing forward. Now the Whole Hog was answered in kind, but it's Snap that's coming up with these kills, taking out Shifu. Is he going to get a third? Now it's going to be Sly that cleans up.
Look at these
Wanted.
hooks!
Great hook coming in. iShiny going to sacrifice himself to the Hanamura gods, and now it's going to be this Reinhardt getting chased down. Oh, there we go. Fly Kobo, you're not long for this world.
I mean, there's so many of these heroes in Overwatch that have like potential that is not often hit by so many of these players, but seeing Snap play Roadhog makes me think that I should never play Roadhog again, because I don't hit anywhere close to this percentage of hooks, and every time he hits a hook, it is meaningful. Utah follows up. And it's just like a one-man mini team fight engager. He just finds hook left and right, finds these picks left and right, and Washington just cannot slip through this guy.
Oh, they are not able to wall them off, but the Blizzard is there as they try to push in. We do have Polish Babe picking up that first kill, and it's going to be Wise Diablo going down next. iShiny does finally answer back, but is that going to be enough as that Reinhardt gets the charge, finishing him off?
It looks like right now Utah, 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. So many members of Washington are just trickling in one at a time, and that's making it easy for Culture to freeze them, hit him in the head, and right now the members of Utah are actually pushing out into the garden to zone away the members of Washington even more. So a decent amount of tools for Washington to work with on this next push. They do have the Death Blossom in addition to a Zarya ult, so if they're able to get that Ana ult pretty quickly, they could go in for that Beyblade Wombo combo, but Utah has been respecting that space incredibly well, and they've been spreading out very smartly as well. So unless Washington catch them off guard, I feel like Utah is just going to continue shutting them down. Here they come.
Graviton Surge on the top lane, but it's going to be Sly who comes in for a double kill. He's got that nano boost. He pushes forward. He gets a third. Is he going to get a fourth? He's just swinging on everyone right now, and single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, he had the help of his support, shuts down that offense coming out from Washington, and now they've only got 1 minute and 40 seconds left to work with.
Okay, how many of these pushes can you hold off is the question for Utah, because a lot of times when the clock starts ticking down, we see a lot of series won and lost just in the last minute on these assault maps, because sometimes a team gets a little bit too comfortable. They're like, we're winning every single team fight, and all of a sudden Washington has the potential to just storm through the entire rest of the team. We have the nano boost in addition to the Death Blossom up for Washington now, so if Fly Kobo finds a big Earth Shatter, this could be disaster.
There we go. He was able to pick up one off of that nano boosted Death Blossom, but is that going to be enough? Finds a second, and that's going to be a third going on over to the side of UW. Now we do have the Blizzard coming out from that Mei, but we have 4 members actually caught out right now. Culture trying his best. We have the sound barrier keeping the members of University of Utah alive for now. They were forced off the point. So 1 tick going on over to UW as they are taking this team fight against Utah right now. Culture does get taken out in the back line by Shifu, and now Shifu is trying to hunt down these tanks. We do have a Diva in play now, so complete stall tactics coming out on the side of University of Utah right now as Cian is able to keep himself alive with a nano grenade. But is that going to be enough? We do have Snap and Sly coming in for the kills themselves, and now Takes might have just held it for the side of Utah.
Yeah, 1 tick has been taken by Washington, but considering there's only 30 seconds left on the clock, they're going to have to go big. Snap finding a big hook onto Ice Shiny. Polish Bay finishing that one off. It looks like Utah going to attack this point from defend this point rather from a variety of angles. Washington, they have 1 good push left in them. Ice Shiny, the only one left with an ultimate available. If they do not hit a perfect Graviton Surge and get a beautiful follow-up, this game is over.
Yeah, they also have that Death Blossom, but on the side of Utah, Sly has his Earth Shatter again. So now we do have Washington. They are on the point, and there we go. Immediately Earth Shatter onto those 2, cleaning them up. Culture's the one that finds the kill onto Soul Man. We do have the Graviton Surge coming out, but there's no follow-up damage coming out from Washington. Whoa! There it is as Shifu comes in. We did have the self-destruct finally finishing off Shifu. Is that going to be enough though? Wonk getting frozen here in the Blizzard. He finally falls to Culture, and that just might be it for Washington.
Yeah, just Ice Shiny left up, but it looks like, oh, actually he does have a support with him. Is Wiz Diablo able to stay alive for a decent amount of time? They could stall out long enough. Here comes Delucio just jumping left and right, dodging out shots, but Snap finally finds him. He jumps off the point, and it looks like Washington unable to cap the second.
Yeah, so University of Utah with a great hold there on point B. That May play coming out huge for them, but also you have to take a look at the positioning coming out from their Ana player. You saw engage after engage on the resets. They got Ana on that left side high ledge, and from there she went completely unabated. No one was contesting her whatsoever. She got the easiest nano boost off, like was not misclicking at all because she had complete line of sight of her team, was able to keep them healed up. So yeah, great play coming out from University of Utah. I like what I'm seeing.
All right, so Utah, all they need to do is capture point 2, and then they win the series over Washington 2-1. At the beginning of this series, we saw Washington take down Utah pretty convincingly on the Gibraltar, and then Utah bounced back with the substitution and that 4-tank composition on Kings Row. Finally, we switched over to an assault-style map. Utah did a very solid job of holding off Washington off that last point, even in situations where Washington started off the fights really well. Now it all comes down to a question of, can they apply that same level of, teamwork from the attacking standpoint? Because it's a completely different style of game when you can... It's one thing to just turtle and wait for people to come to you. It's another thing to kind of scare that turtle out of the shell and make him into soup.
Yeah, but no turtle here as Flame Turtle was subbed out for Culture, and Culture was doing such a good job on that May. This time they're going for that quad tank setup again on the side of University of Utah, but that makes them really short-ranged here. I mean, while this is pretty close quarters, that can really be abused on the side of University of Washington if they, sniff it out quickly enough. We do have on the side of UW, Wonk will be their May player for this. So, we'll see how that pans out for them.
I mean, it all comes down to whether or not Wonk is able to get the proper walls off and where exactly Washington positioned themselves. While Utah doesn't necessarily have a lot of range, if they get on your face, you're pretty much dead no matter who you are. So if Washington gets caught out in like the side health room or on top of one of those little peaks, it's going to be really, really bad for them.
All right, so now they are approaching that choke point. They're trying to bait it out with that Winston. But not going to come out quite yet. Yeah, he keeps jumping in. We do have the hook, but now there we go. The wall off does come out, and it looks like it was Culture who was caught. Zarya was able to get to the safety. Shifu is the one that found the kill onto Culture as we did have that charge coming in. Shifu gets hooked. He gets finished off by Snap. Now we have Utah pushing forward. Snap is still on this Roadhog right now, trying to get Ice Shiny, but Ice Shiny was able to block that hook with that barrier. Now, the Nano Boost does come out onto Sly, but a great wall off will stop him for now, but not for long. That speed boost really helping out as Snap and Culture come in for a kill of their own, and they are on this point.
They were so patient. They had so many opportunities to just run into the point and try to start capturing it right away, but they waited for the members of Washington to get a little bit split up and play towards their style of game, that close-range brawler style. And as soon as they got into the actual point itself, it was game over for Washington. Utah managed to cap the first point. Now they have almost 7 minutes with which they can push this inside shrine.
Yeah, and there isn't enough damage on the side of University of Washington to try and deal with this quad tank setup, and immediately Culture jumping on top to of his counterpart. We do have the Graviton Surge coming out on the side of UW, but the Sound Barrier will keep most of them alive for now, along with the Blizzard, though. Shifu almost finished off that Zarya, but he got hooked away from that. It's going to be Sly that finds the first kill onto Soulman in this engagement, and there we go. Shifu getting cleaned up by Snap, and Snap doing such a good job on this Roadhog. Is going to face off against the Zarya. He's got his E to keep himself alive, and he's even got that whole hog to try and finish her off. Ice Shiny barely surviving there. He has to be careful. No, he's actually going to commit suicide. And now we've got the team fight on the point. No tick quite yet coming out for them, but there we go. Culture gets the frag onto Wonk now.
It's going to be a situation where Utah is going to try and have to find these kills all at once because Washington are spawning so close to the point. If they manage to trickle in one at a time, Utah will eventually lose this out. But that's 3 kills in the kill feed for Utah. Washington now on their last legs. Ice Shiny trying to do what he can, but he does fall to Snap eventually. This substitution coming in is proving to be so very useful for Utah, and they're just looking to close the book. The final chapter on this book. Here they come, the Blizzard to stall out for a little bit. Snap pulling out the whole out to push back the members of Washington to buy his team a little bit more time. Here he finds 1 kill, 2 kill. He's looking for a hook. Finds one, Diablo on the 3rd. Oh my god, somebody check this guy for aimbots because he is not missing a single thing.
Yeah, right now the rest of University of Utah starting to clean up, but it is Washington actually finally holding on to this point. So the nice stall tactics coming out that made Blizzard really paying off for them there, but still 5 minutes on the clock, and unfortunately, Utah weren't able to get a tick on that, despite all of that.
I really thought that was the push that was going to win Utah the game, but like I said, this is a situation where unless they kill like 4 or 5 members of Washington at once, they're just going to keep respawning, stalling out, and especially with a Mei who can zone people out and kind of buy their team a lot of time. Utah have to hit this hard and all at once.
Yeah, it's great wall off coming out from Wonk, but unfortunately they were not able to follow up and pick up those stragglers. It's going to be Snap who comes in. Great hook coming out from him, and now the rest of Utah are on the point. They've got that nano boosted. Reinhardt, along with the Graviton Surge. Here's the follow-up damage. He's on top of Ice Shiny here. He gets the Earth Shatter onto that solo member, and there we go. We do have them trying to trickle out one by one, but that's not going to be enough. There we go. We do have the Primal Rage coming out on the side of UW. That's Fly Kobo trying to keep this alive for now, but Primal Rage is over. Snap finds a kill onto Wise Diablo, but they are able to buy this time. They were able to get 1 tick on the board on the side of UW right now, though. Sly finds the kill onto Soulman. Now the Graviton Surge does come out, but once again, no follow-up damage coming out as most of that was eaten up, but finally it does get through. Now Snap still alive here, trying to pick up this final kill on to that Zarya, and he's doing such a good job, but finally gets cleaned up by Shifu.
This is so scrappy. Like, we see these games go very long on this second point on Hanamura just because of how close Washington is able to spawn. Even though Utah entered with like 2 or 3, 4 big frags, the fact that anytime a Utah member dies, they have to walk like 20 times further than a member of Washington. Eventually, as time goes on, you have a larger sample size. Washington are just going to outnumber Utah by the end of the fight. But they still have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to work with. We have Sly with that ultimate available, and Sion getting very close to that nano boost. They're able to chain that. They need to wipe 3, 4 members at a time.
Oh, Snap starting off this fight by taking out Soulman. That's huge. We do have the nano boosted. Reinhardt pushing forward. He's going to find a second kill, taking out Wise Diablo. Now Ice Shiny going down. Ice Sly with a triple kill. He's on the hunt
Sly?
for Wonk here. There it is. That's the 4th for him. He does get pushed off by that Lucio, though. And now Snap trying to keep them off as they are trying to secure that second tick. We have the whole hog keeping them back for now. Nano boosted Death Blossom is forced back. Shifu finally finds the kill onto Culture, though. And now, with 2 minutes and 44 seconds, we still have University of Washington putting up a defense here as Snap finds the kill onto Shifu. Now he still gets the hook onto Ice Shiny. And now, will he be able to follow up? The barrier will keep Ice Shiny alive for now, and he will melt through him. Now, we do have the sound barrier coming out on the side of University of Utah. It's going to be a 4v6-5 on this point now. We'll see. The members of University of Utah are starting to get pushed back by this Blizzard, and now they're all frozen up. That's going to be the cleanup coming up from UW.
This happens over and over again. It starts off so well. Sly gets like a 4-piece with that hammer, but Washington just so very close. They were unable to zone out the members from that spawn point quickly enough. Snap did a pretty decent job pulling out that whole log to try and push the members back to the door, but at the end of the day, it's still Washington staying alive in this fight. 1-1 in the series. The winner of this going to maintain their undefeated record. The loser going to lose their first match. Here comes the Graviton.
Graviton surges on both sides, but who has the follow-up damage? It looks like, oh, great Earth Shatter coming out from the side of University of Utah to stop that Death Blossom. We do have the nano-boosted Fly Kobo trying to put in some work. Is that going to be enough damage for them? Shifu is out of the fight as he was pushed down onto the low ground. Empire finds a kill onto his counterpart, so now it's a 6v5 fight in favor of University of Washington. Excuse me, Utah Snap finding a second, taking out Shifu. Now they might have just done it. The point is still being contested as Culture finds the kill onto White Diablo. Now Snap still on this Roadhog. We do have the Blizzard coming out on the side of Washington though. Is that going to be enough to stop this offense though?
This looks like to be enough so far. The members of Washington are respawning so very quickly. Wong's picking up too. It's just Snap around the outside trying to find a pick. But there's so many members of Washington still up. The kill feed lighting up in all red as Shifu going absolutely big. Even Soul Man getting in on the action as a support player. And what looked like such a massive time bank for Utah. 6 minutes and 50 seconds they had to push this last point. They are down to their last 45.
Yep, they will have 3 ultimates to work with here on this final push. 37 seconds left, but on the side of University of Utah, Snap almost has his whole hog again, along with Sly's Earth Shatter. Sly has to land one monster of an Earth Shatter, try and finish off this team fight in one fell swoop. They do have the high ground here as they are now pushing forward. They are onto the point, and so University of Washington, there we go, Earth Shatter comes out, but most of it is blocked by that ice wall, and now we have the sound barrier on the side of UW to keep them healthy, and no one's taking any damage while the rest of University of Utah are starting to get cleaned up here.
Shifu
it's going to be Shifu with his ultimate. Is he going to be able to clean this up? There we go. We've got the Death Blossom. That's a 4-piece for him.
That's exactly how you close out a game on Hanamura. You just make a big flank with the Reaper, hit Q, and all of a sudden 5 members die. He actually manages to find Sly towards the very tail end of that fight. 1-1. Neither one of these teams capturing point 2.
So we're at a match tie right now, 1-1.
What we do, Jamerson. It's my first day here. Please explain what happens now.
I mean, this is a first for me. This is a first for the broadcast, actually. We very rarely go to a third map, and we very rarely have a draw on a map like Hanamura. I mean, real quickly, let's talk about the plays real quick. So, Sly right now, just doing so much work on this Reinhardt. We saw, like, he was on the kill feed as often as...
Look at this 4-piece.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got a real barn burner right now between these two schools. University of Utah really pushing University of Washington to the limit. I mean, when we first started off this series, we were expecting UW to have the advantage, right? Like, they have that esports past and the support at their school. But right now, University of Utah really putting a wrench in their works there.
And I feel like that last map is something that University of Utah had a lot of opportunities to win. It was just small little windows of execution that they didn't necessarily hit, because something very difficult about Hanamura is the fact that the first point, relatively easy to take, and you have like a whole bunch of time, 5, 6, 7 minutes to take the second point. But considering how quickly and how close the defense spawns to that second point, you have to wipe like every single member at the same time, or like wipe 4 and already have 2 ticks. And Utah was slowly inching into it, getting 1 tick, getting 2 ticks, but they needed like 5 more minutes to actually execute on it, because, I mean, they just respawn so close, and Shifu constantly finding his way to the backline, opening up so many of these windows of opportunity. Washington, they fought with everything they had to tie the series up.
Yeah, so we are going to go to a tiebreaker map. We are moving on to Ilios here for map number 4, essentially, in this best-of-5 series.
You know what, Ilios? You can't tie on it, because you only play 5 rounds. If you divide 5 into 2, you're left with 1 finger. That's very rude, and I'm not going to hold up on broadcast. So, we're finally going to have a winner in this series. Both teams thus far in the Tespa Collegiate Series, completely undefeated. University of Washington 3-0. Utah 3-0 as well. Neither one of these teams wants to go home as the loser of this series, because it's like the first time that they're ever going to lose. It's going to feel bad.
I mean, this is the Western region. It's very heavily stacked with a lot of schools and campuses that have a lot of esports presence and support structures. So definitely want to represent here and want to step away with that 5-0 record at the end of the regional playoffs. And it's going to be very difficult. And it's so sad to see that one of these teams are going to have that one in the loss section there.
Exactly. You can just blame it on something like lag is one of my favorite excuses. I was was tired. Allergies. My cat crawled over my keyboard. I don't even have a cat. I don't know where it came from. But
whose cat is this?
Could you imagine? I'm super allergic to cats, too. It'd be terrible if a cat got into it. But the question I want to ask right now is, something that turned out very well for Utah is the way they subbed in Snap in the second map of the series. And then they swapped in Culture for Flame Turtle towards the end. But Flame Turtle looking to be back in, so it looks like Culture is out. Flame Turtle looking to make some moves on that Reaper. Let's see if the substitution's a good one. Because I feel like May's pretty decent on Ilios.
May can be, but also just go for that, you know, really easy engage composition with the Ana, the Zarya, and the Reaper.
Beyblade, baby.
Exactly. All day. You get that little metal core in there, just wreck fools.
Did you actually play Beyblade?
I didn't, but I watched the show. I will admit that.
I lived in Korea when Beyblade was a big thing, and people would walk around like with their little tops, and we would literally battle each other on the streets.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon, except with little spinny round toys that could cut your fingers.
Yeah.
Why did my mom let me do this?
Well, the problem was like also the wind-up like portion, that little plastic thing, that would also like cut into your hands and like cut off circulation and get stuck on your finger all the time.
Stick
really
to esports.
Yep, esports all day, every day. Where we all have to worry about is carpal tunnel. Just stretch, ladies and gentlemen. We are on to the lighthouse portion of Ilios here, and now both teams meeting in the small health pack room. Both teams. Oh, nice one coming out from Snap, but is he going to be able to connect with any damage? It's going to be Shifu actually coming in. Now Wonked finds one of his own. Flame Turtle not able to actually connect with these shots quite yet. He has to be careful as the Biotic Nade does land onto him, so he's going to go ahead and Wraith Form away. Ice Shiny picking up a double piece to finish off that team fight. That's going to allow UW to maintain control first.
Pretty straightforward fight coming out here from University of Washington. Both teams electing to take that mid route, look for that early first team fight, and then gain priority on the point. And Washington did a very good job. Ice Shiny going absolutely huge, picking up a couple of kills for himself, going to get him very, very close to that Graviton Surge. And when you're a Zarya with Graviton Surge in the second team fight of a control point, it's very hard to beat you, especially on Ilios.
Oh, the hook came in. Wonked finished off Cian, but he was able to get Retribution for himself, but it's not enough as Snap is coming in. He's got that whole hog Graviton Surge combo coming in. Is he going to be able to get the knockoff onto Soulman? No, but he will force them back.
Oh, he slept!
A bit, and he is put to sleep.
Slev, this is bad. This is good for Utah, rather. Looking to push their way into the hill, but Shiny shuts down Sly. You know, Sly's hammer's been doing absolute work, but here comes Snap. Can the hook find its target? He finds one, but it gets taken down by the opposite Roadhog. Wonk doing some work there, and here comes Shiny, forcing members off the map. Here they go, shoving the members of Utah back into their own spawn. This is the aggressive Washington we saw on map 1, and right now it looks like they're continuing that push on. Washington still with control.
Yeah, 57% on the board for Washington right now. They've got 3 ultimates in tow, but University of Utah have 4 of their own. They've almost got the Graviton Surge also. So here we go.
Boy.
Here comes the Beyblade. It's going to be Shifu picking up a 4 kill for himself. Now he's on the hunt, picks up the 5. Is he going to be able to get the ace? He's trying to desperately find the 6th player, but where is Polish Babe? I don't know. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
When you're somebody like Utah pushing ahead in that corridor, you have to be aware of the fact that they have a Reaper who hasn't popped ult yet. You also have to be aware of the fact that they have an Ana to combo with that Reaper, and if he ever jumps on your back line, that's a team fight that you're automatically going to lose. Shifu got up there so free and was able to... This is the exact same position he was in before. The fact that it's going to happen again, so dirty.
Yeah, Fly Kobo picks up that first kill onto Sly, and so now it's a 6v5 fight, and we are in overtime here on the Lighthouse. Nice Biotic Nade coming out. That's going to stop a lot of the healing. Snap finally goes down, but is that going to be enough? Here we go. Death Blossom coming out from Shifu. He gets a triple kill. Is he going to get the 4th? That's the 4th. That's like his 11th kill of the game.
Looking for 5, but he gets shut down by the Earth Shatter. He's going to stay alive for a little, but he actually manages to survive throughout all of it. Now looking for the 5 kill to put on his trophy, but it looks like Ana actually going to come in for the kill secure herself. So, first point on Ilios goes to Washington.
It goes to Shifu. We had that nano boosted Death Blossom coming in. He was able to pick up the 5 piece, and then on that last engagement, he got about 4 there.
He got an ult again. That was really quick.
That's the strength of the nano boosted Reaper. He just dishes out so much damage to the tanks that he gets his ultimate so quickly. It's pretty ridiculous. And that's Nerf, please.
Yeah, right? That's something you have to be aware of as the other team, because if you're aware of it, you can respond to it, and if you can respond to it, it's like, then that effectively gets countered. But the fact that they were able to just get freely into the backline and drop down, kill 5 of them, it's something that you should never allow for to happen as a team, especially on control points, because these maps are all about momentum.
Yeah, and the momentum definitely in Washington's favor right now as they are 1-0 up against Utah here on Ilios. Remember, this is a tiebreaker map here, so the winner of this will be moving on with that 4-0 record. Now both teams meeting in the middle, trying to work through the Reinhardt shield, and it looks like Fly Kobo lost his first. Yeah, we do have that flank, but nice hook coming in, but no!
Oh, he got a second one!
The delayed hook coming out from Snap. He is going to be able to finish off Wong there. Now he does fall to the hammer of Fly Kobo, so now things in favor of Washington.
I like how everybody kind of goes for that 50-50 hook towards the well, because I feel like there are better strategies to take, but Washington definitely coming out ahead of that one. Going to get first control at the control point to the members of Utah, just trying to find a way into this opening. They're all going to flood up mid, though, with one member. It looks like Flame Turtle looking around the outside, but he's going to get caught out. Shifu going to bleed all the members of Utah. It's going to be bad, but he does manage to stay alive throughout all of it. They have two ultimates on behalf of Washington. They pop the Graviton Surge to try and find some kills here. Nothing happening on behalf of Washington quite just yet because the sound barrier absorbing so much of the damage. Here comes Snap, though, looking for damage around the outside. The hook down, drops down Polish Babe, and Ice Shiny manages to pick up kill secure for that one. Snap finding the kill on the opposite support, and it looks like Washington still with control of the control point.
Yeah, 35% on the board. We've got the whole hog coming out, trying to push the rest of the members of University of Utah away. We do have that Reinhardt in the wrong position, and he's just going to go ahead and fall to his death as Wise Diablo picks up that final kill onto Empire. And it looks like Fly Kobo might have actually jumped off himself.
Goodbye!
Bye. Is he going to switch off possibly? I mean, he's almost got his Earth Shatter out. I think that might have just been an accident. Or
what were our excuses? It was lag, cat on keyboard.
Cat on keyboard.
Ganked by mom.
Ganked by mom. All right, so now we do have University of Utah approaching. Graviton Surges coming out from both sides, and all 6 members caught on it on the side of Utah. But again, we do have that Reinhardt shield, and there we go. That's the hook. Slide goes down, so now it's a 6v5 fight. Snap trying to answer on back, and just both of these Roadhogs, all they're going for are these hook kills. Is he going to get it on the Flame Turtle? He does, as Soulman picks up a kill onto Polish Babe, so UW are going to be able to force them back as Snap finally picks up a consolation prize kill onto Shifu here before he plummets to his demise.
Stop standing there! They're very good at hooking you and dropping you in there. Why would you constantly go to a place expecting a different result? That is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. As a result of that team fight that Washington won for like the 7th time in a row, it looks like they're going to be pretty uncontested in taking the second round. Unless this happens,
Caster Curse gets a triple. Polish Babe, that's going to be a 4th one for him. And now they're cleaning up the rest of UW in overtime. We're able to flip the point, 99%.
He sprayed! Oh, I love it! Oh, man. Somebody give this kid a bonus or buy his books next semester or something, because that was pretty nice.
Give him an extra punch on his meal card.
Oh, yeah, those were things.
Those
it's been
were
a long time
yeah.
in college.
Did you ever trade them away?
Is that a thing? That's some black market dealings. I'm not talking to you. So Utah now finally with control as soon as I call the match. Something you should never do.
Graviton Surge coming out. About 4 members caught out. It's going to be Shifu, who does get the Earth Shadow landed onto him, but he will survive for now as Washington are starting to clean up. So now it's a 2v5 team fight in favor of Washington. They're pushing forward. They want to close out this point.
So they have 5 members on the point, and so many members of Utah getting zoned away. This staggered respawn really hurting them over time. Going to take down. They managed to refresh it at the last second. Flame Turtle does drop, however. Looks to be a diva flying in. Manages to get the save, but can the rest of the members of Utah follow is the question. Slide finds one. Here comes Shifu doing as much damage as he can. It's a 2-for-1 so far in favor of Utah. Shiny just laying down the damage, trying to defend his team from these people on Utah pushing forward. Here comes Snap, still staying alive, but here comes Shiny with the flame. Big Graviton Surge to come out. He's laying down the grenades. So much damage coming out, but Snap somehow turns it around. Finds the kill onto Ice Shiny. Still in overtime, halfway there for Utah to capture this point. The hook out. How did he find Soul Man? Snap, please. And they managed to capture the point when all hope was looking bleak.
Oh, 46% to 99%. University of Washington just need one good team fight. They might have just got a little ahead of themselves there, trying to stop anyone from coming in and try to body block them. That did not work out for them. Polish Babe was able to make it on there with that Diva, with the heroics, and now Flame Turtle is on this Tracer. Now we do have the dive coming in. We do have Snap. He's got that nano boosted whole hog, but fortunately not going to be able to find any damage off of that. So that's 2 ultimates down on the side of University of Utah. That's committed. Earthshatter comes out, lands onto 3. We do have the sleep coming in. Polish Babe gets the kill onto Soul Man, but take a look at that. We do have Shifu try to go for that Death Blossom, but a lot of that got eaten up by the defense matrix.
5 down.
Now, yeah, that's 5 members of Washington down.
5 members down, only iShiny left, 86% to 99. This map is so close. If iShiny can stall out for a little bit longer, maybe they're going to have a quick member come out, try to dash through. University of Washington have to stop this push right here, right now. Otherwise, it's going to be Utah tying the series up. Here they come. Big sticky bomb coming up, but nobody going down as a result. Snap gonna take the time, gonna heal up, 99 to 99. Cannot get any closer, ladies and gentlemen. Polish Babe with that self-destruct available. When is he gonna pop? It is the question though. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Shifu taking down Snap. Here comes the boom. Nobody gets hit, and it looks like Washington slowly pulling ahead in this team fight. 3 members of Utah are down. That's a 4th dropping. Here they come, still in overtime. This is so very close, everybody. Shifu finding the kill onto the Lucio, and they just need to find Polish Babe on this Diva, and here they go. Washington now with control, now with possession of the points. Can Utah get back in time? No!
No. Yeah, that's the new overtime mechanic coming in. The longer it gets contested, the shorter of a candle you get there, and whew,
that was
UW now
super
up
close.
2-0 here on Ilios. They are 1 point away from ending this series against University of Utah. And yeah, they brought it back from 99 to like 20 to tie it right back up, but Washington were able to clutch that out, and now we are on to the ruins. This might be match point for the University of Washington.
Now this is going to be a point where gunplay comes into it becomes so much of a bigger factor, because there aren't a whole lot of crazy flank routes or environmental cheeses that you can pull off on this pit hill. So it looks like whoever's going to win this first fight is going to have a very fun time snowballing that lead into the mid stages of the game, because there's not a whole lot of places to hide other than those side rooms, and all the action happens in that pit anyway. We saw University of Washington do a lot of good things with getting those hooks at the beginning of that well, you know, kicking down the Sparta pit, but right now it's all about one-on-one gunfights. It's all about who can hit their shots better.
Yeah, both teams running mirror 3-2-1 compositions right now as they do meet here on the ruins. Neither team really quite committing, trying to find those hooks, trying to rely upon their Roadhogs for that initial engagement. Now we do have Flygovo coming in, and now we do have the first kill going on over to Washington as Wonk gets that kill, but Snap immediately answered right on back, and these Roadhogs are doing such amazing work for their teams. We do have that Lucio, he is slept, but oh, Snap comes in, not my support, not today, takes him out.
It does look like Washington is the first one to capture this point, though, and we already have Shiny with his ultimate available for the next fight. 100%, there it is. Graviton Surge, in addition to the Earthshatter coming online as well. We talked about how this first fight is so very important, and considering how wide open this actual objective is, it's very easy to hit a solid Graviton Surge, in addition to chaining that into the Earthshatter. Utah have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, these are really big, impactful ultimates coming out on the side of University of Washington. There we go. There's the Graviton Surge, and Shifu trying to get into the back line. I think he might have been smelling an Earthshatter there, but oh, he finally cleans up that kill onto his Slice. So now it's a 2-for-1 trade, and then he gets booped off, and it's going to be Snap coming in with that whole hog. He even gets that 4th. Actually, it's going to be Cyan that comes in. iShiny gets a consolation kill onto Polish Babe, but man, you cannot stop Snap. He gets hook after hook.
Snap picked up 4 kills by himself, in addition to taking part in the 3rd one. Shiny electing to jump off the map instead of giving off a little bit more ult charge. So now Utah, Washington got about halfway to full control at that point. Utah finally bouncing back, getting possession of their own. Now, Sly does have that Earthshatter available. Flykobo has the Earthshatter available as well. Who's going to hit the hammer better? I don't know. This is why this game is so exciting.
So yeah, they are pushing forward now. Sly holding on to that Earthshatter, just waiting for the shield to go down. But this time it's going to be University of Washington taking that inner route to get in there. But Snap once again with these hooks, he gets that kill onto Fly Kobo. So now it's a 6v5 fight in favor of Washington. You cannot stop this man. He's got like a 99% hook accuracy on this hog in this series right now against Washington. They're going to be able to force them back. They're going to tie it up. It's 48-48 now, ticking up for Utah.
And Fly Kobo, he popped that Earth Shatter to try and make something happen for Washington, but Snap was so incredibly aware of what was going on around him on the map, managed to hook him out of it before he does any further damage. And it seems like Snap is doing so much in terms of shutting down people in addition to creating picks. But here comes Shifu, looking to create something for Washington. Finds one, still alive with the Death Blossom, but the Sound Barrier going to absorb a whole lot of the damage. Looks like Utah responding with a couple kills of their own. Shifu trying to 1v1 this Zarya, but Sly comes in, interrupts the party. Shiny responding with one. Here we are with Sly, trying to absorb as much damage, stalling out for his team before he finally gets dropped. Shiny finding a triple kill in the kill feed. Make that a quadruple. Shiny going off on this Zarya. Come on, throw me an emo, baby.
85% on the board for Utah as Washington finally flipping on over. They are at 53 themselves. So there's still time for Utah to push forward, and they have a lot of ultimates to work with. They've got that Nano Boost, they've got the Earth Shatter along with that Graviton Surge and the Death Blossom at the ready. So they can definitely engage upon Washington right now. Washington have to be careful about the positioning here, as currently Utah taking that inner route there. Fly Kobo did get hooked in, but unfortunately there was no follow-up damage on that. Now here we go, Graviton Surge coming out, and now the Reinhardt shield is down, and he gets hooked and charged at the same time. Wong dropping a little bit low, but it's going to be Snap that gets the kill onto Wise Diablo. Finally, Shifu answers on back. Hook comes in, but the Zarya Berry will keep it alive. Now here we go. We've got the Nano Boost on to that Roadhog, and we've seen what Snap can do with the Nano Boosted Roadhog. He's chasing down Soulman, will pick him off. Now he does have to be careful as he is being hunted down by this
shield.
Reaper. Yeah, great shield coming in. iShiny finding the kill onto iCyan as overtime is ticking down.
99% for Washington right now. They just have to hold out for a little bit longer. Here comes Shifu with the ultimate, but it gets absorbed by the Reinhardt and the D.Va shield. But he finds his way around the outside. Sly does drop. Now he's onto the D.Va. Go back to StarCraft, he yells, and he takes her down. Wonked on the Tracer, now taking down D.Va as well. And here they go, pushing into the enemy spawn. Overtime gonna expire. There goes Washington in the tiebreaker, taking down Utah 2-1 in the Tespa Collegiate Series.
That went into the championship rounds there, and I mean we're still in the regional group play here. So
that's a dope skin. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, you need to get it. You need to get on that.
I need to start buying some.
But yeah, nice. We saw a lot of Nano Boosted Reapers coming in, and this one was probably one of my favorite, picking up that 5 kill. I mean, I believe he had one earlier, wasn't able to get the 6th also. I mean,
scumbag teammates.
Scumbag teammates. But yeah. That was UW finally closing it out against University of Utah, but it was a real tight series between the two teams.
And even though the last tiebreaker map, Ilios, was a clean 3-0 on behalf of Washington, it was still incredibly close. If you just look at the 3-0 game score, it's not going to tell the entire narrative of that map, because we got to a point where it was 99-99. Possession was swapping back left and right, back and forth, going into overtime 17 times or something. So this was definitely the closest matchup we watched all night, and it was an absolute pleasure.
And yeah, and even though, you know, we really went into the championship rounds here, we still have a lot of stamina on the side of UW, as we do have iShiny on the line for our next interview. iShiny, congratulations on your hard-fought victory today, and congratulations on your 4-0. How do you feel about this game today?
I'm feeling really good right now. Everyone is feeling great. Going into it, slightly nervous. We knew Snap was going to be on their team, and we knew he was going to pull him in after we pulled out the first game. So things definitely got interesting.
So you as a player, I want to get a little bit personal for a second. I recognize you from Washington's League of Legends team. You play for Heroes as well. How do you manage to be good at a variety, like so many of these games at the same time?
I don't know. I think once you get pretty good at a game, I mean, the transition between League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm was relatively smooth, since like the mechanics transfer over, and then you just have to like find a pro player to be like, hey, let me teach you the objectives of the game. For Overwatch, it was actually my first PC shooter, but I had a lot of macro experience in FPSs back when I played Halo 3 and Call of Duty for 5 or 6 years when I was just a wee lad.
You play Halo and Call of Duty, I immediately like iShiny so much more.
And I mean, your entire team looked very impressive. What we really
Thank you.
saw coming out from this match in particular was how the substitutions actually played a huge role in the entire landscape of the battle. So what made you guys actually, what prompted your substitution for this match?
So we had the player Ryan or Rain actually approached me really recently, and he's like, "Hey, I'm interested in playing." I was like, "All right, what roles do you play?" And he's like, "I'm a Genji main." And so the wheel started cranking. I was like, "All right, well, we're playing Gibraltar, and I really don't want to go into Gibraltar without having a Genji main on my team." So I pulled him in for Gibraltar. We practiced with him, got our Gibraltar down, and then we brought Shifu back in since we had a lot of practice on all of the other maps with Shifu's character pool. And so that was pretty much the purpose of our substitution.
No, it's cool seeing you guys make a variety of adjustments throughout the course of this series. But final question before we let you go. You're in a region that has been long lauded as one of the strongest in terms of collegiate esports in the United States. Are there any other teams that you're looking at from other regions that you're worried about going into some of these playoff brackets or maybe even the live finals?
Definitely Minnesota, just because they have my teammate Miso on that team, and I'm not sure I want to go head-to-head with him in a Zarya v Zarya battle, but we'll see how things go. It's definitely a team game, and the UW boys are really putting out.
All right, so yeah, congratulations, Brian, iShine, and McCarthy.
Thank
Are
you.
there any final shout-outs you have for your fans?
I just appreciate all the support from all the people at UW and a lot of the fans coming from Miso's stream, the people that support us from T1P as well. Appreciate all of you guys.
All right, so yeah, congratulations on your victory
Thank
today,
you.
and good luck moving forward. Yeah, that was University of Washington, hard-fought battle. It went to a tiebreaker there on Ilios. They were able to clinch it out with that 3-0 victory. What an amazing job.
And I'm blown away by the fact that he's able to take this experience from all these variety of games and apply it to Overwatch. Definitely a game that's blowing up in the esports world in addition to the collegiate scene. So cool to see Washington moving on. They are a very storied campus when it comes to their esports presence, their gaming, their affinity for gaming, if you would say so. We'll see exactly how far they get because the West is an incredibly stacked region.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? We are going to actually take it to a break, but don't go anywhere because after this, we will have University of California, Berkeley facing off against University of California, Irvine.